Yesterday I sat down with a bunch of CEOs and CIOs in Sun City, and they said, what's my whole notion of innovation and open? And I said, you know what? You're going to have a cultural change in your businesses now. You're going to have to embrace failure. You're going to have to learn how to deal with failure. Because if, number one is you need to embrace it, because if you fail, you get great learnings from it. And rather iteratively fail and understand versus avoid and mitigate. The notion of best practice and Gartner Magic Quadrants and reference sites are gone now. You can't have that anymore. You have to just try stuff. So you have to change organizationally, and you have to change your psyche organizationally. At Google, you know what happened when I was at Google? I think I was month 3 or 4. There was a girl that made Google go down for 8 minutes globally. She made Google go down for 8 minutes. Now, I understand what 8 minutes means to Google. Google is a company, when I was there, they toggle between 110 to 115 million QPSs. That's queries per second. And when something happens in the world, they almost go to 1 billion queries per second. Now imagine making that thing go down for 8 minutes. Right? An Asian girl, and the Forbes magazine, there's an article where she and Larry and Sergey are on the cover. And they're tickling her, and they're holding her, and they're laughing. And what she did is she made it go down. She packed up. She thought she was going to get fired. She walked across the campus at the Googleplex. She went into Larry and Sergey's office and said, okay. And they said, what the hell were you trying to do? She explained how she was trying to optimize the spider to make it index faster. And they liked what she was doing. And her failure was so well documented. She knew exactly why it happened. It was so valuable to them. She's now almost as rich as Marissa Mayer in options. You know what that did inside of Google? When they rewarded that girl for making the core product go down, there was this notion that, wait a minute, you can actually affect the core product. You can make the core company's product break, but as long as it was with a good intention, as long as it was well documented, that was okay. That reverberated inside of Google, and it made everyone feel better. It's almost reinvigorated everyone. And again, this is that all, if you want innovation, you have to be able to embrace failure. And fear, I always say this to university students, but I also think for companies, fear comfort. 2 words, fear comfort. Never be comfortable in your industry, never be comfortable, because your competitor now as a bank or a telco is no longer the guy 2 blocks away or in the same city or in the same country. Your competitor is everyone. Everyone can come at you now. Everyone can create a business. It's never been easier to create a business. It's never been easier to have global reach. And it's never been easier to attack a company and come after them. I'll give you an example. I was month 9 at Google. I don't know if it was month 9. I got a phone call. And a German guy, he was screaming at me in the German accent. It was mad. And I said, sir, calm down. Now, I could pick up with the delay that it was a call from overseas. I said, where are you calling from? He said, I'm calling from Europe. And he just kept on going. And I said, sir, calm down. He said, I'm suing you. I'm suing in your personal capacity. I'm suing Google South Africa. And I want the details for Google Mountain View. And I said, why are you going to sue us? What's the problem? And he said, and he calmed down. And I said, okay, just calm down. What is it? And he said, go in your browser. And I opened up my browser. He says, go to Google. Go to Google. He says, type in Melee appliances. So I type in Melee appliances. When you type in Melee appliances, the result was an ad that would pop up, an organic but then supported link, and it says the truth about Melee. Click here. I click there. And the resultant page is this very simple little page, folds like 2 A4 pages big, so just below the line, and it says Melee is cuck. And it's got pictures of Melee appliance with a dead rat in it, and I mean it's explicit. And you know what this was? This was a guy that had bought a Melee appliance in Benoni. Okay, I always say, all good things come from Benoni. He bought a Melee appliance, and you know what? He had Microsoft Word and a digital camera, and he took pictures. Okay? Then he put it into a Microsoft Word document, and he saved it as HTML. Little hosted website, and let me give you the statistics. 800 Rand. He opened up an AdWords account, and he linked anytime you typed in kitchen appliance or Melee would pop up. That was the keyword. And they weren't advertising against the keyword, so he owned it. Now let me tell you what happened. In less than 4 days, he had 660,000 unique views of his page. So here's the message to you as businesses, right? That a consumer on the outside that's pissed off with a digital camera and Microsoft Word and less than 1,000 Rand can almost reach 1 million people in 1 week. And that's the message, right? It's also a good message, because you never had the capability to create tribes and have people love your brand and become immersed in your brand and do things. But don't underestimate this. And a lot of businesses just ignore it and it'll go away. Well, guess what? It's not. People make decisions about products and services in these containers, in these social networks, in these real-time streams. And you have to have your finger on the pulse as a business.